Gentlemen of the press, the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria, CBCN, is set to host their counterparts in the entire West African region under the aegis of the Regional Episcopal Conference of West Africa, otherwise known as RECOWA, in Abuja from Monday 2nd May to Monday 9th May 2002. The theme of the conference is Fratelli Tutti, Path to Building Human Fraternity and Sustainable Peace in West Africa. This is in line with Pope Francis' encyclical Fratelli Tutti, released in 2020. Importantly, the RECOWA General Assembly will pay attention to our common humanity, Fratelli Tutti. We are all brothers and sisters. That is what it means. It is an effort to go beyond geographical and linguistic differences to appreciate those issues that speak to us more on the understanding that we are all brothers and sisters. It means that we are all connected as humans, not only in our aspirations to actualize our universal values, but also in our struggles, headaches, and fears. The appeal to our common humanity is to come to terms with the reality that all human beings are in need of one another to live fully human. Driven by the awareness of our common humanity, RECOWA plenary discuss peculiar issues that affect the lives of millions of people in West Africa and explore how best the Church can support governments toward improving the living conditions of the people. RECOWA has various organs that address the issues of interfaith, dialogue, security, good governance, justice, and peace. It is worthy of note that RECOWA was established with the primary aim of enhancing the Church's mission in the region, maintaining and fostering relations among the constituent episcopal conferences. The General Assembly of RECOWA brings together Catholic bishops from the 16 West African countries. Moreover, as RECOWA, the Church has been able to raise concerns and work together on issues bordering on justice and peace. From Senegal to Nigeria, RECOWA has been a strong voice against land grabbing, child trafficking, illegal migration, terrorism, placing the issue of climate change on the concurrent list to curb desertification and many others. It is expected that these issues will still form part of the agenda at the 2022 Plenary Assembly in Abuja, which is expected to bring together over 150 bishops. Historically, before it came to be known as RECOWA, the bishops of West Africa had two different organs of collegiality based on linguistic differences. The English-speaking were in one group known as Association of Episcopal Conferences of Anglophone West Africa, ECAWA, established in 1977, while the French-speaking formed another conference known as Conférence Épiscopale Régionale de l'Afrique de l'Ouest, CERAO, established in 1963. However, in 1996, the bishops of the two bodies recognized the need for a united West African nation on ecclesiastical sphere following ECOWAS arrangement on the geopolitical platform. They recognized the need to come together as a people, join forces, and pool resources together for consolidated pastoral programs in the West African region. In view of this, they agreed to form one single Episcopal association that will bring all bishops of West Africa on one platform. This culminated in the first formal meeting, which was held on July 1, 1997, at the headquarters of the Second General Secretariat in Accra, Ghana. Moving on, in 2007, another meeting was held in Abuja, Nigeria. It was at this meeting that the bishops resolved to be known as the Regional Episcopal Conference of West Africa, RECOA, which is translated into French as Conférence Épiscopale Régionale de l'Afrique de l'Ouest, CERAO. After the 2007 meeting in Abuja, the union was officially declared, marking the beginning of what we have today as Regional Episcopal Conference of West Africa, in English, and Conférence Épiscopale Régionale de l'Afrique de l'Ouest, abbreviated CERAO for the Francophone. This name emanated from the already repressed Association of the Episcopal Conferences of Anglophone West Africa, ECAWA, and Conférence Épiscopale Régionale de l'Afrique de l'Ouest, Francophone, that is CERAO. With this new arrangement, which transcended the linguistic barriers imposed by English, French, and Portuguese, the Catholic Church confirmed itself as an organ of integration for West Africa. Following that, every 3 years, there is a RECOA CERAO plenary which brings together all cardinals, archbishops, bishops of the Catholic Church in West Africa to deliberate on matters relevant to both the Church and the West African sub-region. This does not, however, affect the existence and authority of the various national and interterritorial episcopal conferences. In the invocation of the blessings of the shepherds of the Church in West Africa will be part of the spiritual benefits of hosting RECOA General Assembly to Nigeria as a nation. As usual, the CBCN relies on the ever-loving and supportive laity in Nigeria to support the entire process in order to witness a successful hosting. We also rely especially on all media bodies to give the RECOA plenary the publicity it deserves. Thank you very much for your presence and kind attention. May God bless you all.
Good morning, fathers, leadership, and basis, and I work for the garden. The bishops will be brainstorming on something that has to do with achieving a sustainable peace in Africa. So bringing it home, I want to find out, with all the crises going on in the country, I want to find out how can we achieve a sustainable peace in Nigeria.
You also remember that the CBCN, the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria, at their last conference, which was May 5 to 11, 2022, in March, they also deliberated on Fratelli Tutti as a means of peace building in Nigeria. They were specific in Nigeria. So RECOA is also deliberating on the same thing, but covering the whole of West Africa. It's good to understand what Fratelli Tutti is all about. Fratelli Tutti is a recognition that we are brothers and sisters. We are all connected. We might be from different areas. We might be speaking different languages, but at bottom, we are brothers and sisters. Stemming from this, if you hold that this is a brother, this is a sister, then our actions and everything towards that person we recognize as a brother and as a sister will be that of love, that of peace. So there is insecurity, there is injustice, there is all bad things happening in our society because we are yet to recognize that we are truly brothers and sisters. Anybody you hold that this is a brother, this is a sister, you will respect that person, you will honor that person, you will protect that person, you will fight for that person. So the aim is to bring about this. first of all, to recognize, so that to deal with the situation from its root cause. We must know ourselves as brothers and sisters, despite our differences. So in this case, it is a deliberate effort to recognize the human dignity that is there in each and every one of us. Say, my brothers, my sisters. By the way, that is the totality of the Christian message. That the coming of Jesus is actually to break that barrier that divides us. That say, this one is Igbo, this one is this tribe, this one is that tribe. This one is from the other region, this one is from this region. We are to see ourselves in the first place, primarily as brothers and sisters. Once we are able to recognize that, we will be able to observe that human dignity inherent in that person that we come across. Thank you.
The theme for the RECOA conference, incidentally, was the theme for the CBCN conference. And I think it's actually the way to go. But my own concern is that the theme is going to make sense to those who are at the hem of affairs, so to say, because most of these things we are discussing, I'm not sure is cascading down to the people who needs to know them. Like the one for Bishop's conference, we know the caliber of people that attended, those that came. I want to ask, do we have any plans to kind of step down this path to human fraternity and peace, especially in Nigeria? Do the church in Nigeria have such plans to step it down so that the local communities, those that don't have access to the media, can also be part of this?
I wanted to ask, apart from what's expected of the media, I also want to know if there will be opportunity to discuss with probably stakeholders, to also feel the pulse of the people, and also to know what the church can do in her capacity towards really establishing this space, because honestly in Nigeria we don't even have a peace to sustain. So will there be an opportunity for a discussion with stakeholders?
While the Secretary General was briefing this assembly, he mentioned a document released by Pope Francis in October 2020, and that document is called Fratelli Tutti. That's where this assembly of the bishops will be drawing the main points that will be dwelt upon. And one of the things the Pope emphasized in that document is that bishops should encourage religious leaders. So when we talk about religious leaders now, we're talking about priests in their parishes, we're talking about non-Catholic religious leaders, we're talking about non-Christian religious leaders, that we make use of the pulpit to emphasize what Father Zach just talked about when he was talking about all of us recognizing that we are brothers and sisters. The Pope developed the theme of the universal fatherhood of God. It is because God is the father of us all, that is why we are brothers and sisters. And all these religions that I've talked about, whether Catholic faith, whether non-Catholic faith, whether Islam, recognize this truth, that all of us have come from one source, one origin, God. And so if we can push this truth from the pulpit, it will get to the grassroots. It will get to the grassroots. Apart from that, like you already hinted, there is the power of the media. With the click of a button, what we are talking about here, that is why we are having this press conference. That is already part of it. In fact, this press conference already answers your question to a large extent, because we are hoping that at the end of this briefing, the thing is going everywhere, within Nigeria, out of Nigeria, within Abuja, to the grassroots, all over the country. So that is how we hope to achieve this result. That if all of us can be talking of the fact that we are brothers and sisters because we all come from one Father, the same Father, then this sustainable peace we are talking about will be accomplished.
To what our Deputy Secretary General has said on this matter, I think at a forum like this, it's good to place on record that whereas some people make it seem that it's only the Catholic Church that is pushing the spirituality and ideology of brotherhood, of fraternity. Indeed, we need to acknowledge signs of such effort beyond our Catholic confines. Just last Friday, we got the news of an imam very close to us here, Sheikh Nuhu Khalid, who was able to, within the Jumat service, stand firmly to speak truth for life. Though he seemed not to have been appreciated, he seemed to have been oppressed and suppressed, but that was a very bold move about an imam who believed in the fraternity of the human person, that we all are one. When he spoke, he wasn't speaking about Muslims being killed. He was speaking about human beings being killed. And if we can replicate such imams, such in pastors, in imams, in bishops, in individuals, in organizations, the more we speak more in favor of truth in that manner, then we will be enthroning this ideology more in our society. So I think we really need to acknowledge such great move by that imam.
There is what we call relative peace. There is relative peace. If there is no peace at all, you won't come here. The fact that you are here, it means that there is relative peace. So we can sustain that. We can sustain that. So the way of sustaining that is to understand that we belong to the same human family. To the same human family. And therefore, you owe me respect, I owe you respect. In that way, I regard you positively and can protect you and can work for your interest. So that is what we are trying to sustain, to promote and to sustain it. There is no way. It must begin by talking and talking and talking and talking. 2-3 persons will be able to gain something, whether from the side of the government or from common people. I don't agree completely that, as my brother said, it belongs to a high caliber of persons and some other people like that. Sometimes our common people need that more than any other person, because the kind of atrocities that happen at the lower level is even worse. It's even worse. People live here in my neighborhood here in Durumi. Very often they can't sleep outside despite the heat. Why? Because there are people marauding around. They would like to steal something. So if they actually understand that, well, this is what is happening, they are doing it to their brothers, they are doing it to their own families. They will think twice. They will think twice. So it is your job. That is why we have called you here. Be our trumpeters. Go and sound it out there, so that together we can achieve peace, promote that peace, and sustain it. Thank you.
You are watching CTV.